Ladies and gentlemen, today I speak not to entertain your emotions, but to awaken your convictions. You were never created to remain the same. Within you lies potential that your environment may not see, your critics may not affirm, and even you may not yet understand. But potential, by its very nature, is hidden power. Every individual is born with latent potential, hidden capacity that lies dormant until it is discovered, developed, and deployed. This potential is not determined by the circumstances of birth, social background, or education alone. Rather, it is an internal reservoir of ability, creativity, intelligence, and strength placed within each human being. You do not decide your potential. It was pre-installed in you before you were aware of your own existence. The tragedy is not that people are born without value, but that many die without ever unlocking what was within them all along. Most people live their entire lives being shaped by limitations, by their environment, opinions of others, or past failures, without realizing that their true capacity has not even been touched. Like a seed that is never planted, their potential stays buried, not because it is absent, but because it is never activated. A seed doesn't look like a tree, but inside it is a tree, a forest, a future. The growth mindset begins with this understanding: I have more in me than I have expressed. This single realization changes everything. It changes how you see yourself, how you handle failure, and how you respond to opportunity. When someone believes they have no more to offer, they stop trying. But when you know you haven't tapped into the fullness of who you are, then every day becomes an invitation to expand. Potential demands development. Just because you have potential doesn't mean it will automatically manifest. A diamond is valuable, but in its raw form, it must be cut, polished, and refined. Likewise, your gifts, your intellect, your strength, your creativity, they require discipline, education, sacrifice, and patience to grow. It is not enough to have potential, you must become a steward of it. That's where mindset becomes critical. If you carry a fixed mindset, you will see talent as something static. You either have it or you don't. But a growth mindset sees talent and ability as things that can be cultivated through effort, strategy, and learning. Every mistake becomes a teacher. Every failure becomes fertilizer. Growth is not linear, it is cyclical. It comes in seasons, and sometimes it hides beneath the surface before it becomes visible. But as long as you are committed to the process, the fruit will come. You were not created to repeat your past, you were created to fulfill a future. And that future is tied directly to the potential within you. To waste your potential is to rob the world of what only you can give. The question is not whether you are capable. The question is whether you will activate what you already have. Your greatest power is not what lies ahead of you, but what lies within you waiting to be awakened. The mind is the control center of human experience. Everything that exists in your life right now, your habits, your choices, your relationships, your goals, is a reflection of the mindset you carry. Mindset is not just what you think, it is how you think. It is the framework through which you interpret the world, assess yourself, and interact with challenges. If your mindset is limited, your life will be limited. If your mindset is expansive, your life will begin to reflect that expansion. This is why mindset determines manifestation. Because your beliefs shape your behavior, and your behavior produces results. Many people try to change their circumstances without first changing their mindset. They look for new jobs, new relationships, or new goals, hoping that the external shift will fix the internal struggle. But nothing around you changes permanently until something within you changes intentionally. You cannot consistently live a life that is inconsistent with your thoughts. If you think small, you will settle for small. If you believe you're not capable, you won't even try. If you assume growth is impossible, you'll never pursue it. Your mindset silently governs the choices you make, the risks you take, and the opportunities you see or overlook. What you manifest in life, whether it's excellence, stagnation, or mediocrity, is often the direct result of your internal convictions. This is why two people can face the same difficulty and respond in completely different ways. One will be paralyzed by fear, the other will be mobilized by vision. The difference is not the situation, it is the mindset. A growth mindset refuses to accept failure as the end of the road. It asks, what can I learn? Instead of, why did this happen to me? It looks at a closed door and doesn't stop. It finds a window, a key, or a new path. Moreover, mindset impacts how you use time and how you treat your potential. Someone with a fixed mindset will waste time proving their worth, while someone with a growth mindset will invest time improving their capacity. This difference creates compounding impact over time. Your mindset decides whether you react emotionally or respond strategically, whether you quit when challenged or grow when stretched. The reality is this: your life expands or contracts based on your thought patterns. Your thoughts become words, your words become decisions, and your decisions become habits that shape your destiny. You don't accidentally grow, you decide to. And that decision begins in the mind. When you intentionally choose to reframe difficulty as development and delay as preparation, you begin to align your mindset with growth. So, if you're waiting for things to change around you, start by changing what's happening inside you. Shift your mindset, and you will shift your manifestation. Upgrade your thoughts, and you'll upgrade your reality. Because what your mind cannot see, your life cannot achieve. Growth is not a comfortable process. In fact, one of the greatest misconceptions people carry is that progress should feel good. But real growth often begins in discomfort, tension, and unfamiliarity. Change disrupts patterns, and the mind naturally resists anything that challenges stability. Yet the very discomfort we try to avoid is the signal that we are on the path of transformation. No one becomes stronger in comfort zones. Muscles are built through resistance. Wisdom is formed through experience, and maturity is developed through testing. Growth is never accidental. It is cultivated through uncomfortable, intentional stretching. The discomfort that comes with growth is not a punishment. It is a process. Like a seed planted in the soil, the environment is dark, tight, and full of pressure. But without that buried condition, the seed cannot break open and release its potential. In the same way, when we go through moments of stress, trial, or disruption, we often feel pressed down. But those seasons are often where our best work is produced, because discomfort exposes what comfort conceals. It reveals our weaknesses, highlights our dependencies, and invites us to strengthen our character. Avoiding discomfort may feel safe, but it is also a guarantee of stagnation. People who fear change cling to what is familiar, even if it is limiting. A fixed mindset tells you, this is who I am, and I can't change. But a growth mindset embraces the unknown and declares, I may not be there yet, but I am becoming. That becoming process will stretch you. It will challenge your assumptions, expose your insecurities, and demand new levels of focus and commitment. But it is only through this process that you evolve into someone capable of handling the next level of your assignment. Many people pray for growth, but then reject the conditions required for it. They ask for strength, but avoid the struggle. They desire wisdom, but avoid difficult decisions. But nothing worth having comes without a cost. Every new level of growth comes with a new level of discomfort. You can either choose the pain of discipline now or face the pain of regret later. Discomfort is not your enemy. It is a tool for elevation. Growth requires you to leave what is familiar and step into what is unfamiliar. This means sometimes walking away from what is easy, what is known, and even what is popular. You cannot evolve while holding on to environments that keep you stagnant. The discomfort is not there to destroy you. It is there to build you. Every challenge, every delay, every opposition is forming you into someone who is more focused, more resilient, and more prepared for purpose. So, when you find yourself in discomfort, don't run from it. Sit in it. Learn from it. Let it work on you. Because the fire that feels like it's burning you is often refining you. And when you emerge, you won't just be stronger, You'll be transformed. Failure is one of life's most misunderstood experiences. To many, failure feels like the end, a conclusion, a sign that they are not good enough or that they should give up. But to those with a growth mindset, failure is not a period, it is a comma. It is not the end of the story, it is a crucial part of the development process. When viewed correctly, failure becomes a catalyst for growth, not a reason to retreat. The most successful, resilient, and impactful individuals in history have one thing in common. They refuse to be defined by their failures. When you adopt a growth mindset, you see failure as feedback. You don't internalize it as personal defeat. Instead, you analyze it as situational data. You ask yourself, what can this teach me? Where did I go wrong? What can I improve next time? This mindset transforms failure from something painful into something powerful. It allows you to extract lessons from disappointment and use them as fuel for the next attempt. People with a growth mindset understand that failure is not a sign of incapability. It's evidence that they are pushing beyond their comfort zone, trying something new and stretching their limits. Failure often exposes areas of weakness, but that exposure is not meant to shame you, it's meant to show you where to grow. Without failure, we would never evaluate ourselves deeply. We would never reconsider our strategies or strengthen our character. Success tends to reinforce habits. Failure forces us to reflect and refine. Sometimes the loss teaches more than the win ever could. It humbles the ego, sharpens the focus, and builds endurance. In this sense, failure doesn't take from you. It gives you clarity, courage, and capacity. Children naturally understand this. When a toddler is learning to walk, they fall over and over again. But they don't interpret falling as failure. They interpret it as progress. They keep trying until the muscles remember what to do. Adults, however, become fearful of failure because they attach it to their identity. Instead of saying, I failed, they say, I am a failure. This shift in language changes everything. A growth mindset separates the act from the identity. You may have failed at something, but that does not mean you are a failure. It means you're in process. The truth is, the path to mastery is paved with mistakes. No great invention, innovation, or advancement has come without error. The key difference is that growth-minded people fail forward. They use every fall as a step toward greater strength. They don't stop because they fell. They get up more intelligent, more strategic, and more committed. If you never fail, you're not trying hard enough. You're staying too safe. But when you embrace failure as a teacher, not a tyrant, you unlock new dimensions of wisdom, resilience, and personal power. The question is not whether you will fail, it is how you will respond when you do. Choose to grow through it. Growth is often misunderstood as something that happens when luck strikes or when circumstances suddenly align. Many believe success is a gift you receive or a prize you win. But true growth is much deeper than chance. It is about becoming someone who can sustain success, responsibility, and influence over time. You don't simply get what you want by wishing for it or by showing up once. You grow into it. Growth is about transformation, and transformation demands preparation, character development, and resilience. When you desire success, you must realize that success will demand more of you than you have today. The person you are now is not automatically equipped to handle the pressures, expectations, and responsibilities that success brings. Think of it like this: a small cup cannot hold a large quantity of water. To receive more, you must become more. To carry more, you must become stronger. Growth is the process of expanding your capacity so that when opportunity comes, you are ready, able, and worthy to handle it. Many people fail because they want the results without the preparation. They want the promotion, the recognition, or the wealth, but they don't want the discipline, the learning, or the sacrifices that growth requires. You cannot short-circuit growth. Just as a tree must go through seasons, spring, summer, fall, winter, you must go through stages of development before you can fully enjoy the fruits of your labor. If you rush the process, you risk breaking under pressure or losing what you gained. because you were not ready to sustain it. Growth is about becoming someone who can handle success with integrity, wisdom, and humility. It is not just about the external achievements, but the internal transformation. You must grow your mindset, your emotional intelligence, your patience, and your ability to lead yourself and others. This is why the greatest leaders and achievers focus on who they are becoming, not just what they are doing. Because who you become determines what you can do. Sustainable success demands that you grow into a person who can endure setbacks, manage relationships, make difficult decisions, and continue to improve. It requires vision, courage, and persistence. You don't just want success, you want to become a steward of success. Growth prepares you to carry the weight of your dreams without cracking under pressure. So stop wishing for quick fixes or easy wins. Instead, commit to the process of becoming. Be patient with your progress, but relentless in your pursuit of growth. You are not just waiting for success, you are being shaped for it. And when the moment comes to receive, you will be ready to carry the blessing. Lead with wisdom and multiply the impact. Growth is not about what you get, it is about who you become. Learning is the heartbeat of growth. Without continuous learning, growth becomes stagnant and potential remains unfulfilled. The moment you stop seeking new knowledge, new skills, or new perspectives, you begin to shrink in relevance and capacity. Learning is not a phase you pass through, it is a lifelong journey that fuels your development, sharpens your mind, and equips you for greater challenges. It is the engine that propels you from where you are to where you want to be. Many people view learning as something confined to formal education or the early years of life, but this is a limited perspective. Real growth happens when you embrace learning as an ongoing, intentional practice. This means being curious, asking questions, seeking feedback, and being willing to adjust your beliefs and behaviors. Learning requires humility, the recognition that no matter how much you know, there is always more to discover. It is a mindset that says, I am never done becoming. When you stop learning, you start dying in a metaphorical sense. Your ideas become outdated, your skills become obsolete, and your mind becomes rigid. This rigidity limits your ability to innovate, adapt, and solve new problems. In contrast, a learning mindset keeps you flexible and open. It allows you to pivot when necessary and to embrace change rather than resist it. The world moves fast, and only those committed to learning can keep pace and thrive. Learning is not just about acquiring information, it is about applying knowledge to real life. It is about transforming theory into practice. True learners seek to understand deeply and then act boldly. They test new ideas, reflect on outcomes, and refine their approach. This cycle of learning, applying, and improving creates momentum for continuous growth. It also builds confidence because every small step forward reinforces your ability to handle complexity. Another vital aspect of continuous learning is recognizing that mistakes and failures are part of the process. Every failure is an opportunity to learn something valuable about yourself, your strategy, or your environment. When you view setbacks as lessons rather than punishments, you cultivate resilience. You develop the ability to bounce back, adjust your course, and keep moving forward with greater wisdom. Continuous learning also empowers you to expand your influence and impact. As you grow in knowledge and skill, you become a resource for others. You inspire and lead by example. People are drawn to those who are growing because growth signals vitality, relevance, and possibility. By committing to lifelong learning, you not only enrich your own life, but also contribute to the growth of your community, workplace, and family. In essence, learning is a sacred responsibility. It is the foundation upon which all progress is built. The question is not whether you can learn. It is whether you will make learning your way of life. Choose to be a lifelong learner, and you choose to live a life of constant growth, renewal, and purpose. Growth without purpose is like a ship without a compass. It may move, but it will not reach a meaningful destination. Purpose is the engine that powers progress. It gives growth, direction, meaning, and sustainability. When your efforts are tied to a clear and compelling purpose, every challenge becomes worth enduring, every sacrifice becomes worthwhile, and every success becomes deeply fulfilling. Purpose is what transforms mere activity into impactful achievement. Many people pursue growth for the wrong reasons: status, wealth, approval, or temporary satisfaction. While these can be motivating, they often lead to emptiness once achieved. True, lasting growth comes when it is connected to something greater than yourself. Purpose grounds your growth in values that transcend fleeting desires and aligns your efforts with a vision that serves others and honors a higher calling. This connection fuels perseverance and resilience, especially when the journey gets tough. Purpose clarifies priorities and sharpens focus. Without it, you risk wasting energy on distractions or shallow gains. When you know why you grow, you are less likely to be swayed by setbacks or discouraged by slow progress. Your purpose acts like a lighthouse in the storm, guiding you through uncertainty and keeping you steady when the winds of doubt blow strong. It helps you make decisions that are consistent with your long-term goals rather than short-term pleasures. Moreover, growth powered by purpose invites contribution. It shifts the focus from "what can I get" to "what can I give?" This shift is transformative. When your growth benefits others, your family, community, or even the world, it creates a ripple effect. Your progress becomes a source of inspiration, empowerment, and hope for those around you. Purpose-driven growth is contagious because it is rooted in service, compassion, and legacy. Purpose also helps you navigate the inevitable moments of struggle and sacrifice. Every journey of growth has seasons of pain, frustration, and doubt. Without purpose, these moments can feel unbearable, leading to quitting or settling. But with purpose, you find strength beyond yourself. Purpose gives you a reason to endure and a vision to aim for. It reminds you that your efforts are part of a bigger story, one that matters deeply. The spiritual dimension of purpose cannot be overlooked. Many traditions teach that each person is created with a unique assignment, something only they can do. Discovering and pursuing that purpose is the highest form of growth because it aligns you with your true identity. When you live purposefully, growth is not just about self-improvement. It becomes a form of fulfillment and worship, a way to honor the gift of life you've been given. In the end, growth without purpose is empty movement, but growth with purpose is meaningful transformation. It is the difference between wandering and journeying, surviving and thriving. Purpose makes growth sustainable, joyful, and impactful. It turns your potential into a legacy that lasts beyond your lifetime.